Hello, Professor. My name is Jeff Farkari. My presentation are going to be done on two paintings I procured from the Getty Museum. So, let me start. The first one was Jean Baptiste Camile Corot. He was born on July 16th, 1796. He was a French landscape and portrait painter and printmaker. He is considered an important figure in landscape painting that references the neoclassical tradition and also Impressionism. Corot was born in Paris, France. His family was of the ruling class, with his father being a wig maker and his mother being a milliner. Because of this, Corot never felt the need for money. His parents, after marriage, purchased the mother's millinery shop to run as their primary business. The store was reputed to provide a strong income to the family of five. Corot was one of three children. Corot earned a scholarship at Lycée Pierre Corneille in Rouen, but was unable to keep up with the pace of his schoolings and moved to a boarding school. When he was young, Corot lived with the Senneguin family, whose patriarch was a friend of the Corot's family. It was at this time he began to paint nature. When his parents moved in 1817 to a new home, Corot set up his first studio there. Up until 26, Corot apprenticed to be a draper, but eventually adopted art as his primary profession. Corot was rumored to develop an aesthetic sense through his exposure to color and textures of the fabric. He turned to oil painting in 1821 and began working with landscapes. Corot's sister died in 1822, and then Corot began to receive an advance of 1,500 francs to finance his new career. He rented a studio in Quad Voltaire. Landscape painting at the time was really divided into two groups. The neoclassicists of Southern Europe that represented idealized views of real, and in Northern Europe, the more realistic landscapes. Both styles had artists begin the painting outside and then move inside to finish it. French landscape artists were highly influenced by John Constable and J.M.W. Turner, who pushed toward realism. From 1821 to 1822, Corot studies with Akel Etna Mikan, who was a landscape painter who was a protege of painter Jacob Louis David. Some of Corot's lessons at the time included tracing lithographs and making landscape sketches. Miquelon exposed Corot to French neoclassical tradition. Examples of artists of neoclassical tradition include Claude Lorraine and Nicolas Poussin, who really pushed beauty in the nature of their works. Miquelon died in 1822. Corot continued to study with his teacher Jean-Victor Bertin, who is known as one of the best neoclassical landscape painters in France. Corot's early career are characterized as traditional tight, which has clear outlines and thin brushwork that causes absolute definition in objects. After 50, his methods became more focused on breadth of tone and using thicker paints. In his last 10 years of his life, he became the Père Father Corot of Parisian artistic circles. Here he was acknowledged as one of the greatest landscape painters the world has ever seen. Throughout his life, Corot painted over 3,000 paintings. He's often credited as being a precursor of Impressionist practice. Corot's palette often consisted of restrained, dominated with brown and blacks, which were forbidden colors among the Impressionists. His strokes were known to be controlled and careful, and his compositions were considered well thought out. He believed that when a painting was done correctly on the first attempt, it was often more true and beautiful. Two of Corot's paintings were used in the French film Le Heureux d'été. Okay, now let's look at the work that we're going to be examining. In examining Italian landscape, one first notices the line style used by Corot. His lines are extremely precise in this work. Each object in the painting is drawn to incredible detail from a well thought out division, as you can see. Look closely at the trees and how realistic the leaves feel. You can see 3 cows grazing in the pond, and the attention to detail of them is magnificent. A group of people to the left seem to be engaged in some conversation. Corot's realism is undeniable, as even the water in the painting seems real and relaxing. In the distance, you can see some of what looks like Roman Pantheon-style buildings, which is right here. The building is obscured by a tree, but you can still see it magnificently in the distance, and it almost seems majestical. The vanishing point seems to be the tree in the center, which I would say is around there. And it's used to show spatial distance for the painting and really pulls the focus for you. In the distance to the left is some kind of stone structure that is out of focus, but greatly shows his clever use of distance. Corot's countryside excursions, where he painted ancient aqueducts and crumbling temples under the blue skies of Italy and Provence, resulted in some of the most delicate and beautiful paintings of his career. The color used in this particular paintings are very powerful to help convey the realism. When you look at the color of the sky, you see an amazing realism to it. The lighter colors seem to identify this as an early painting of Corot that were characterized by lighter tones. His landscapes are increasingly atmospheric. The trees often softly defined with shimmering foliage consisting of suggestive dots and dabs. Looking at the graphs, you see the use of a lighter green gives a warm feeling of springtime. The light earthy tones of the ground complement the light colors of the trees to an amazing degree. Notice there's little use of dark black color in the earthy light-filled concept. Overall, I feel Corot's use of lighter colors here really works to make this inviting, beautiful, and peaceful. The thing I would mention is the light used in the painting. The third thing I'd mention is the light used in the painting. Notice how the trees seem to be lit up by the color used here. Corot does an amazing job of showing the light passing through the trees to illuminate this incredible landscape. The light he uses seems to bring a majestic feel to the overall work that is immediately noticeable. The golden morning light bathes this landscape of singing and dancing peasants with antique ruins in the background. The way the water shines on the lake is so realistic, you feel like the water is almost real. Notice the conservative use of black and grays to show the unilluminated areas under the tree brush. His amazing technique really brings a painting to life, showing all the intricacies a scene like this has in real life. Corot's use of lighting is phenomenal in his work. And what this work really means to me is, the thing I can really pull from it is it's just about the beauty of the naturalism of the picture. There's just, it's so lifelike and real, and just his choice of colors and the lighting is just amazing. So it's an amazing work. Okay, this sums up my first artist, Baptiste Camile Corot, and thank you.